Well, the search for the Casemiro understudy all backup is really on. And guess what? Romeo Lavia talks with Manchester United have commenced, and obviously they happened in, I think, the first week of March. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. And the brother to Amrabat, Sofian Amrabat, you know, he was one of the best midfielders at the World Cup. He plays for Fiorentina, has come out and revealed to us how a move of him to Manchester United was really blocked after Sampdoria wanted an immediate amount of money, and the reason has been given to us. And lastly, Ralf Rangnick, formerly the interim manager at Manchester United, has gone ahead and really spoken out onto the belief that Erik ten Hag has instilled into Marcel Sabitzer. Smash the like button, comment and share. Rock and David remains my name, and let's get into this. Now, do you remember the look on Casemiro's face when he was sent off in the game of Southampton? I understand he would have felt he had a reason to feel like that and look like that, but I think what escalated that was that he knew that him out of the United team for 4 games, it's really something bad, because he's the only one we've got. Scott McTominay can't get the job done. You saw him against Southampton. He used to win the ball, but he had nothing to do with the ball each and every time he won it. So Casemiro knew it very well, and we all know it very well that Casemiro needs a backup or a competitor. And guess what? United has always been linked to Romeo Lavia, a 19-year-old coming in from a side known as Southampton, and I think there is a lot of interest in him because he's formerly a City player and was sold to Southampton. So we've been told by Sacha Tavoli and Saints Extra that Romeo Lavia's father had a meeting with Manchester United representatives the week of March. So the talks are on. The talks are on. And to me, if you tell me, do you fancy Romeo Lavia to come in at Manchester United? I'll tell you yes. Why? If Ten Hag has identified him as one of those players that are really going to come in through and get the job done and dusted, I'll 100% back him, because I know how good he is at improving players. The moment he has spotted him, that means he can improve this player into what he wants. That's it. So for me, Romeo Lavia is a very good player. I've seen him on several occasions coming in here and express himself. Remember him at Old Trafford, he played very well. I saw him play against Chelsea. I've seen him play against decent sides, against Southampton, against Tottenham Hotspur in that game that ended 3-3 last weekend. I think he was really a beast in that midfield. He's tall, you get? He's determined. He has some unbelievable talent in him. At the age of 19, it doesn't come by mistake for you to come in and play in the Premier League at a team like Southampton. No way. If he was playing for teams like Nottingham Forest, the other team, Bournemouth, he would have said, all right, it's the only one they've got. But Southampton is known for scouting young and good talent and playing that position that is so much sensitive in the pitch. On the pitch, every time Southampton flaunts him, shows you how important this guy is, and he's so much good and talented that United are in for him. One, I can understand the situation of Manchester United because Ten Hag is uncertain of what is going to be happening at Manchester United, especially as far as the takeover is concerned, because it looks like the Glazers are here to go ahead and really milk out on every opportunity that is going to show up as far as them selling the club of Manchester United is concerned. Without £6 billion, they are not willing to sell off this club. And remember, £6 billion are going for only 69% of the shares. 31% shares are still owned by other individuals, not the Glazers. So it's really tricky on how this is going to end. So Ten Hag knows that if they don't sell the club of Manchester United in time or on time, he'll have a very small budget of operation in the summer, and he's looking in for options of players like Lavia, because he knows Lavia is better than Scott McTominay. He's better than Fred when it comes to playing as a central defensive midfielder. He's secure on the ball. He gets that ball from the back four, and obviously connects the midfield to the attack very well. He wins his duels very well and shields the back four. That is Lavia for you. And him coming in through to the midfield is one of those things that you will at every time admire that Ten Hag is looking at such a talent. And that's what United is all about, because players like Wayne Rooney, we got them when they are young and they turned out into the next big thing from the Premier League. And United has always been doing that, going in for young talents in the Premier League before they hit 20 years, because they are really extra talented and special talents. They bring them at the club and groom them. I think that is something great for United. And for me, if Lavia is coming in through, I would welcome him with open hands, because he's really good. He's Premier League proven. Teams like Arsenal are in for him. But won't Man City come in and really cash in £45 million for him and let Calvin Phillips go? Because that's also possible. If Man City, I've read the story somewhere else that if at all Man City sell Calvin Phillips, that Leeds will have to really give them some amount of money. So if at all they sell him and bring in Lavia, I think Lavia can be a very good understudy of Rodri, and they have a buyback clause of £45 million from they have a buyback clause of £45 million if at all they want to get back Lavia from Southampton back to City, and that ends in 2024. That is the summer. So as it stands, we are waiting to see how everything is going to pan out as far as United going in for Lavia are concerned, but talks are really ongoing. And to me, I would love Erik ten Hag to know that he's going to operate on a small budget. If the takeover is done on time, that will be a blessing for us. But I think he should plan for his summer, knowing that he has to sell players to get in more players. If Scott McTominay is going in for £30 million to Newcastle or West Ham, then we should be having the £15 million to add on and obviously get in Lavia. I know you might be having a budget of like £80 million or £100 million to spend. So if at all we can sell players worth £100 million and then make some additions on that £100 million available, then we can see our season or our summer really blessed very well. So Lavia to United, great. And he can act as a very good understudy or backup for Casemiro. And Ten Hag can improve him to the next levels. And by the way, even have other players that we can really include in the deal and loan them to Southampton, like Dan Ikbo is one of those players that, you know, if at all he gets a decent coach, he can get him into the galaxy of those good players. And you've seen him, by the way, play for his team Pakistan, bossing the midfield. That is a player called Zidane Ikbo. Now, let's go to another story that we were into on the deadline day. That is Sofian Amrabat's brother, Nordin. He has told us that I can name 3 clubs who were concrete in the last 2 or 3 days of the transfer window. He told Football Premier that Manchester United wanted a loan with an option to buy. Fiorentina rejected. That's it. So United also wanted to bring in Sofian Amrabat alongside Marcel Sabitzer. So Fiorentina rejected this to happen, but it would have been a master signing because Sofian Amrabat is one of those players that plays well into the stadium area, and you saw him control that midfield of Morocco in the World Cup very well. One will call him a one-hit wonder, only one shine wonder in the World Cup, but teams like Liverpool, Barcelona were interested in him. So, to me, if Erik ten Hag wanted him in the January transfer window, why not go back for him? Because he's cheap, £40 million. You can get him, just £40 million. You can get the player, Sofian Amrabat, and I will be so much excited to see Sofian Amrabat playing for Manchester United because he's a very good player. He's a very good player that you would love to be having at your team because he gives you lots of options at the best of the midfield. That is the CDM area. You know, if you cannot get Lavia, you can get Sofian Amrabat. He has the experience. He's better than Scott McTominay and Fred. And to me, if he comes in through early enough, like at the start of July, he goes with us to America in the preseason. he can find himself integrated into that team very well and will come to the Premier League and obviously hit the ground running. We don't want to get in players when the season has started. We want to go with 70% of our signings in the summer to America to be part of us in the preseason, such that Ten Hag just finds ways of really integrating them into the team. So to me, I 100% believe that this lad known as Sofian Amrabat, if we can get him, the better. But if at all we can get Lavia, I think that's the best option, because for him he's Premier League proven 19 and he's not going to come in at United and demand for a lot of playing time. That's it. He's going to be an understudy of Casemiro and will be willing to learn from Casemiro, and I think that's what Ten Hag would love to see. According to the budget that we're going to be having in the summer, as predicted, that we need to sell to buy. So if you are really in that situation like Erik Ten Hag, you have to look in for some superior talent that is really great. The same explanation I might give you on the next story I'm going to go ahead and do on the new striker, the new Danish striker that plays for Atalanta that United is in for, and Erik Ten Hag is also interested in signing the player because of what he is and the qualities he brings to the front line of United. And lastly, Marcel Sabitzer scoring a brace as they beat Kazakhstan by 4-1, has seen the former interim manager of Manchester United, Rangnick, come out and really hail Erik Ten Hag and the player. That Sabitzer's performance was outstanding versus Azerbaijan. He's simply a player with a lot of quality. I think the change all alone did him good. He's literally flourishing. Is very, very good. He has a lot of more confidence than when he was at Bayern Munich. And obviously, this is something I've spoken or repeated again and again, because there is a difference between being fit and match fit. You might be training very well and you're fit, but are you match fit? So Ralf Rangnick is hinting on him being match fit. He is match fit, and that's why he went ahead to score a brace and put up one assist of the corner kick. So Sabitzer is one of those players that United got from loan from Bayern Munich, and he's really tearing up the Premier League according to me. And by the time he left Manchester United to go for the international break, he had scored a goal against Fulham that put us ahead against Fulham, and this time round he's scoring a brace, and they are playing another game I think on Monday or Tuesday. So he's going to return to Manchester United so much fresh and hot. And all the kudos have gone to Erik Ten Hag, because he's now much confident and he's been improved a little bit by Erik Ten Hag. Zampano beating on him has really led to the former interim manager of Manchester United, Ralf Rangnick, to come out and really hail him as a player. And to me, I see a lot of talent into Sabitzer. I see a lot of talent in Sabitzer. And if I told Manchester United, if I can get in a CDM, I can sell Fred and Scott McTominay. I sell Fred and Scott McTominay. After selling them, I pay for Sabitzer £20 million. I keep him at the club of Manchester United. Why? Fred is like 30, Sabitzer is 29, and he's so much talented than him. Then I have Eriksson, Lavia, Casemiro, and Sabitzer. You get into that position. I think that will be a very wonderful midfield, because none of those players is really injury prone. Those players can be with us for some good time, because we are really having a problem of not having money. So we need to sell players to get money. And if I told you to get some good money out of Fred, it's this time of the summer that you do it. Though I think it's going to be very hard for Ten Hag to make a decision of offloading Fred, because Fred has gone ahead to really look good. But to me, however much is looking good, I'll never put him ahead of Sabitzer. And for Sabitzer, let's wait and see how the season ends for him. But it looks like he's sharpened in the final bend of the season, and he might be one of those players that is going to be scoring in goals for Manchester United and playing that midfield. Remember, Casemiro is away until the game we play against Brighton. He's not going to play against Newcastle. He's not featuring against Brentford and Everton. So those 3 games, Casemiro is out. Remember, he served his first ban. We knocked out Fulham. First game, 3 more to go. And Sabitzer is really going to be one of those important players into that midfield of Manchester United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through your thoughts onto Casemiro. Backup talks comments are welcome in the comment section below, and tell me your thoughts about Rangnick hailing Erik ten Hag and Sabitzer. And lastly, tell me your thoughts onto Sofyan Amrabat deal that really never really happened on the deadline day of the January transfer window. May the Almighty bless you abundantly. Muslims, happy month of Ramadan.